And we're live. Hello. Happy Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining me. 2025, it's the year of feast or famine. And goodness, there was a lot of announcements, not really releases this week. So we've got a lot to talk about. And if I'm completely honest up front, none of the announcements this week interested me. I'll be brutally honest. My wallet is marked safe from this week. And my endgame wonder didn't even arrive. So that sucked. I really was hoping I'd be unboxing Wanda today, but no, I'm not. Although I did get a big box of American treats from Costa at Pop Culture Living Room. Beautiful person that he is. Because tomorrow night, we're doing Two Greek Geeks. So over on the Pop Culture Living Room channel, we're going to be going through some of these American treats. We're going to talk about Greek things, geek things. So if you don't get enough of me after this stream, tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern in the US, so wherever you are in the world, 2 hours earlier than right now. It's when I'll be streaming with Costa. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't even opened the box. Like I got the box today. I've left it intact. I'm going to open it when I stream with Costa tomorrow to see what he sent me. So that's probably the highlight of my week because I didn't get Wanda. I just got a box of treats. So yeah, I'm really excited. Dagito says, you got your tasty cakes in. I did, and it was interesting because I was following the tracking, and sometimes when items come into Australia, the tracking number changes. So I'd been watching the tracking on the 17 track app, and it just stopped moving maybe like a week ago. Like it came into the country and it just stopped moving. And I was like, oh my God, it's not going to arrive in time for the stream. I was really like, no, like I want this to arrive. And then, yeah, the tracking number must have changed because then I got a text message today saying, you have a parcel. And I was like, well, I know it's not Wanda. It can only be one thing. So yeah, the tasty cakes, I don't really know what to expect because I don't think I've come across them in my travels to the US. So I'm super keen to give them a try. I think there's a few things in there. The box is like substantial. So whatever Costa sent me, there's quite a bit of them. So if you want to watch me eat random American cakes with Costa, Two Great Geeks tomorrow. Come join us. Goodness, we've already got quite a few comments in the chat, so let's go through them. Costa, got Costa on the brain. Carlos Burgos, good morning, Helen and chat. Sending my usual hello from a very up and down temperature. New Jersey, Mother Nature can't make up its mind this week on the temperature. So Hot Toys has its 25th anniversary. Will they bring out Christopher Reeve Superman? Good question. Anything can happen. Also, have you seen the Hot Toys Bat Celebration? Does this mean Keaton Batman Returns will be dropping this week? A lot of questions. And with that, I'll catch the replay later tonight after work. So as always, hit the like button for our dear friend Helen and let's subscribe. Thank you, Carlos. You're always in the chat and I appreciate that. Look, I would love the Returns Keaton to drop. I think we're in the release window for it. But Hot Toys, you know, they like to tease us. Little Howie Claus is a bit of a minx. They did that video of like, here's all our Batman stuff. And then we got, what is it? Hell Suit XE, whatever. I don't know, from Arkham, which no one seemed all that excited about, which was interesting. But I always think back to last year when it was like the 85th anniversary of Batman, and I really thought we would get a lot more than what we did. So I don't know what Howie's playing at, but I mean, if he wanted to drop the Returns Keaton or even the George Clooney, like this shelf, it's ready and waiting for some new additions. So I'd love that because honestly, after Wanda, I don't even know what the next thing coming to me would be. I was going to say SooSoo Toys, but lol, we'll talk about them a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the Returns Keaton come out, but also I feel like I've said this. I feel like I've said this. I'll use my words multiple times. 20th anniversary of Batman Begins. We got nothing. So I mean, I would have. I've always said I would love like a licensed Ra's al Ghul. Like Ninja Bruce and Ra's would be cool. There's so much they could do in that Batman space, but Howie Claus is an enigma wrapped in a riddle, so I never really think anybody can know what is going on in his beautiful mind, but I live in hope. The toy collectors here, happy Friday, gang. Happy Friday to you. Anthony Stanfield, hello all. Hope everyone is well. I'm good. I hope you are too. Valkyrie's here. Good evening, Helen. I think it should be good morning for you, so good morning, Valkyrie. AJ's here as well. Hi, Helen and friends. Hope all is well. Me too. I hope everyone's doing well. I don't know. Is it DeGito? I'm probably not even pronouncing that right, so I'm so sorry. But hello. Lovely to see you. Toy collectors in agreement. Nothing interested me, but I finally watched Ballerina yesterday and now really want an Eve figure. Well, I'm glad you're on the hype train for Eve Macaro. I want that so much. Howie, you dropped a teaser and nothing has come of it. And even that John Wick Chapter 1 teaser, and I'm going like, show me the announcement. Like, how close is that in development? Is it going to go up for pre-order soon, or is this like a really early prototype image that you got out there just to stick it to J&D? I don't know. But yeah, I'm really hoping we do get an Eve Macaro. That would be awesome in the trench coat look. Whenever they drop these exclusive, I'm always like, give us something new, give us something different. But no, they just want to give us Fractal suit Swarovski Iron Man. I don't know who wants that. I'm from Philly, so I know what they are. Oh, cool. I've never been to Philly. So I know Costa said that the things he was sending me were local to him. And my last trip to the US, I did not go to the East Coast. So I don't know what they are. Do you like chocolate or savory? Look, I just like food, but I'm definitely a sweet tooth. Big sweet tooth over here. So when I'm in the US, I have to be careful of all the different Oreos. So many Oreos. I do love a good Oreo. So yeah, as I say, I like food, but I'm definitely a sweet tooth. Sugar gets me every time. Keith Lee's here. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Happy Friday, friends. Happy Friday to you, Keith. Raymond's here as well. He says, wish the Armory 2.0 came out today instead of the Hellbat. Not even bothering to make this proper Hellbat armor and just a new head for the XE suit. I've not played the game, so I wasn't sure if it was a repaint of the XE suit or if that's actually how the suit appears. But the overarching sentiment I got was that people didn't seem all that impressed with it. So I've seen the XE suit figure. It's definitely very big. It's got a lot of presence. But from what I could see, everyone was like, give us the original suit from the game. And people seem to be quite perplexed as to why that's not happening and we're getting all these SKUs. So I'm not really sure either, to be honest. I'm pretty sure when I was in Hong Kong last year, the XE suit was still pretty readily available. I'm not sure when that released. But I saw it as well at when I went to Full Team Creation, Oscar, who makes the custom dioramas, and he had this cool diorama which had like bats on it, and he put the XE suit figure in there and it looked amazing. But yeah, it's been a long time since I played the games, and I think I've said on this channel many times that unfortunately I get super motion sick. So those games and me are not a good mix. So I tried to play one of the Arkham games, and yeah, I just would be a dizzy mess afterwards. So I'm not that familiar with the different suits and whatnot. So, but yeah, it felt like a lot of people were not that impressed with the Batman announcement, and what I think is release as well, because then they posted the blogger photo straight away. So I'm assuming it's one of those. It's already out the door in Hong Kong. So we'll see how that goes. Because also because sometimes these Bat exclusive don't actually sell. Like I was really surprised when I was there last year that the black and gold was that an Arkham suit as well? Batman Beyond, maybe? Readily available in Hot Toy stores. And I was like, wow, I just wouldn't have thought exclusives would really be hanging around. But that one certainly was. Afternoon all. Hello, JB. How are you doing? And Raymond points out, and still missing Fantastic Four, Johnny Storm. Yeah, and I'll get in for Ash Chase and Gambit and Elektra. Some friends for Yelena from the Thunderbolts. I'm with you. Yes, you pronounced my name right. Okay, awesome. I try to say people's names correctly. I have a very epic Greek surname, which is constantly being said incorrectly, even though it is phonetic. So I do my best to try to say other people's names correctly, even though I feel like I'm losing the war on the pronunciation of my surname, but it's fine. Natalie Harris is here. Good evening, Helen from the UK. Hope you're well. And Shuri, I know little Shuri, she's somewhere. She's good. I'm good. Shuri's quite happy because we're starting to get a little bit of warmer weather and less rain because she likes to patrol. She has I don't know how common these are in other parts of the world. I might sound like a crazy cat lady, and maybe I am. My backyard is enclosed, like a cat enclosure. So she likes to go and like peer over the fence and see what people are doing. So yeah, when it was raining, she was a bit cooped up in the house and a bit upset. Whereas now, she's living her best life. If anybody ever watched the Australian TV show Neighbours, she's a bit of a Mrs. Mangle, peering over the fence into my neighbour's house. She's having a ball, so I assume she's outside patrolling. But maybe she'll join us at some point. I hope so. I hope you're doing well, Natalie. Raymond says, yeah, the Arkham Origin suit is my favorite bat suit, and we still don't have it. Yeah, I feel like that was the comment I was saying a lot of, which is just, I don't know, why would you not do that if that's sort of like the main suit? As I said, Howie Claus, he works in mysterious ways. We got Mike Faella here. Hey, everyone. Did someone say chocolate? Citrus-flavored chocolate or nothing? Well, no, I can't deny chocolate in general. Because I was saying earlier, Mike, that I got a Costa very kindly sent me a big box of tasty cakes, I think they're called. I haven't opened the box yet. So I've been sent a big parcel of American snack foods that Costa and I are going to be eating tomorrow together on Two Greek Geeks. So Two Greek Geeks tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm quite excited. So as part of that, I was asked savory or chocolate. But I mean, I don't discriminate against food. I think it's all delicious, but I am totally a sweet tooth. Totally a sweet tooth. But yeah, I didn't even open the box because I was worried if I opened it, I'd be too tempted to then open one of the packages and start eating. And I was like, no, the whole idea was we'd have them on the stream. So I know for me, if I don't open the box, then I can respect the boundary. But if I even open just the box to see what the other boxes are, it's all over. So I resisted. But yeah, I'm really excited. Although I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tomorrow night with all the sugar because when we stream, it will be my 8 o'clock. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm even just going, what kind of drink should I have? Coffee, tea, just water? I don't know how many we're going to have, but I know he mentioned there was like a coffee cake and I want to say candy cake. I don't know. I can't remember, but I'm super hyped because I don't think I've had these tasty cakes. I can say tasty cakes are good in general, but I still prefer European chocolate. That's fair enough. European chocolate is very good chocolate. And I'm not a fan of American chocolate. I'm so sorry. Whenever I've gone to the US, I've just I'm sure I've told the Snickers story on this stream before. We don't need to go into it, but I was just like, wow, chocolate quality is not the best. But you guys have a lot of amazing food, so it's not like there's not other amazing things you can have. Can't wait to see which ones are your favorite. I'm so keen. I'm so keen to see what's being sent to me. We'll see. With tasty cakes, I recommend milk. Oh, okay. I can organize milk. I can do that. All right. Well, if you want to see my reaction to or see me eating food tomorrow, Two Great Geeks, over on Pop Culture Living Rooms channel. So let's get into the newsy news because my goodness, there's so much newsy news, and I feel like this could be a long stream. But before, we have a tradition. We warn our collective friends that one man's hobby / William Wang is not a person to be buying from in the year 2025 because the guy's been missing. And as always, I'm not going to go into the big history of it because all my regulars, they know. But I keep this in here just in case there's any new viewers. Be warned, William's gone missing. If you're ordering through his website, I put money on the factory never getting that order. So many people have money with him. They're never going to see their figures. So this is my regular PSA to please be mindful of that. His website's still up collecting deposits and orders, which really upsets me. And even at this time, when the Artisan Black Widows come out, like I know multiple people have said to me, like, I've missed out on that figure because I pre-ordered it with William. And that's really crummy. So, word of warning to everyone. There's so many reputable places to buy figures from. Let's not go into one man's hobby. So, guys, I touched on this earlier. SooSooToys. I've been calling them So Slow Toys. They actually did a bit of a PSA this week, which was a surprise and a delight. But I'm not sure how much stock I take into this message. But I thought I would share it in case people hadn't seen what they had said. So they posted this a few days ago, and they said, "Dear customers, we sincerely apologize for the prolonged delay in delivering your pre-order items. The intricate production process of our 1/6 scale figures took longer than anticipated, and we deeply regret the extended wait. Good news, most items are now in the final stages of production, and we will begin shipping in the coming months. To improve your future experiences, we will focus on offering more ready-to-ship products with shorter production cycles. Thank you for your patience and continued trust. Regards, SooSooToys." Well, SooSooToys, we have no option but to be patient, because NRDs we cannot get back if we change our mind. So, I mean, I'd like to take this on face value, but I'm also very mindful that earlier this year, SooSoo put out a similar post where they said they were not going to announce any new pre-orders until they had fulfilled certain figures. So one of them was this Blade figure you see here. I'm pretty sure they also mentioned their Flash figures. So this was many months ago. I got a feeling this was like during Q1 of this year. So we're now in pretty much the end of Q3, and we've still not seen a lot of these figures. Meanwhile, they have done things like the Wolverine patch. They have announced a rerun of the Blind Vigilante. Even today, they announced a limited Batman figure. So take this with a pinch of salt, is what I'm saying. My view is would they get here when they get here? I guess I just don't really know that I think we're getting some of these figures anytime soon, because that Flash line in and of itself, I think that was like 4 or 5 figures. I know I've got 2 of them on pre-order. There was the Supergirl figure. This Deathstroke is one that I've got on pre-order as well. Like, their list of things that are in the pipeline is very long. Is it, I'm probably getting this character wrong, so if I am, apologies. Is it Starlight from The Boys? Like, people have been saying they've been waiting for that pre-order for like 3 years. And even little sets, like they were meant to do an accessory set for Peacemaker, which had, I'm pretty sure, like a head sculpt and a shield and things like that. well overdue. So I don't really know what to make of SooSooToys anymore. As I said, my view on it is I get it when I do, and I sort of take actually I take no stock in what they say is their release date, because they just seem to pick and choose. Because with that Patch Wolverine, that seemed to be announced and released really quickly. So I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea for them to maybe go down that model where something is a bit deeper in production before they announce it. Because I feel like collectors are patient, but you have to give them an update. And I think that's the thing. We've been in a bit of a vacuum with SooSoo. They used to be more communicative. And I understand they can't answer everybody's questions, but when you come out and make that statement of, we're not going to do any more pre-orders till we release certain figures, when you go back on that, people are going to get annoyed because you're setting that expectation. So this is where I'm like, a post in your group to go, hey, these are the revised production times. Things have blown out a bit, but now we're thinking the Flash figures will be here. Blade will be here. The Peacemaker accessory set will be here. That's all you really need. I think if you're letting people know, like, what the new estimated time frame are, I'd like to think most people are pretty reasonable. But I don't know. So I don't know what's happening with them. But as I said, I don't know how much stock I take in this announcement from them. Mike's still on Snack Talk. That's awesome. You're not wrong about chocolate in the US, but to be fair, if you get to the East Coast, go to Hershey Park. The chocolate is definitely fresher tasting, and they have varieties you can't find anywhere. I always remember, oh my God, this is now a Snapchat. I always remember the first time I went to New York, and I went to Times Square, and I was really taken aback at how gigantic the M&M store is in the middle of Times Square. And all I kept thinking was, man, like, the rent on this must be a bomb. And gigantic 4-story M&M world, which just sold the most outrageous things. Like, I bought my friends an M&M shower curtain because I could. They'd bought like a new house and they had been arguing over novelty shower curtains. Like, yes, really. And so I bought them like an M&M shower curtain. I couldn't even believe that was a thing. And then, like, across the road was this tiny little Hershey's store, which was so forgettable by comparison. But I have to say, I have not liked any Hershey's chocolate that I've tried. I'm sorry, I just haven't. I haven't. Nullified says, I've seen on some group a court order for Philip, Toys Wonderland, maybe William Wang is next. Yeah, I saw that picture too. With Philip, it was a bit different. So my understanding is that allegedly, when he vacated his business premises, the speculation was that he'd caused some damage to the building. And I believe that's what that legal matter is pursuant to. I don't think it's related to the people he ripped off, sadly. I mean, I just think the karma train comes for us all eventually. So, you know, we may not be around to see it, but hopefully people reap what they sow. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, I just think, you know, even with some of that Toys Wonderland stuff, like, so many people left, you know, without money, without figures. And I guess that's why I feel so strongly and have felt so strongly all year about warning people about William Wang, because the warning signs were there really early on. And so many people just blindly stuck up for the guy. You'll see, Will's legit. Where is the guy? He's moved overseas. He's not posting in his group. Nothing's happening. So that's why I've been so adamant in spreading the word, because I was like, this is happening very hot on the heels of the Toys Wonderland situation. And I think it really sucks for people that potentially were stung by Toys Wonderland, and then they're being told, oh, William Wang, one man's hobby, like, legit, like, that's a really safe person. And then history has sadly repeated itself with one man's hobby. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Philip, and with William, who knows? But as I said, you reap what you sow. Soosoo Toys lost face and people no longer believe them. Yeah, I also agree with you on that. I think, as I said, the statements they made earlier this year, like, you guys set that expectation with collectors and you haven't delivered. So showing us some head sculpts and another promise, I'm not really believing anything till I get an invoice to say your item is available to ship and you need to pay the balance. He says, yeah, don't know what happened to Soosoo Toys. They used to be pretty solid on delivery release times, but they've fallen behind, but their products tend to be top-notch for third-party. Soosoo Toys and other third-party companies need to start implementing rolling eye feature. It's hard to buy a figure without that feature these days. Yeah, it's quite interesting because I feel like some third-party figures have started to introduce the rolling eyes. Like, I know I bought some head sculpts from Kit, which I think are from Image Studio, like some Christian Bale head sculpts. They have rolling eyes. I'm trying to think what else recently was announced, but I feel like there's a few third-party companies that are introducing some rolling eyes, but it is something that is becoming, I think, one of those standard features that people are expecting. So it will be interesting to see how wide the adoption of that is, but also the mechanisms improving, because I was watching the review that Figure Hideout did of the Two-Face prototype, and I do think J&D is onto a winner with that magnetic system for adjusting the eye. I'm not a fan of take off the back of the head, particularly if there's like a rooted sculpt, and sit there individually tweaking. Like, I think with that magnetic little wand, it makes it so easy to just get the eyes where you want without having to then worry about, you know, when you put the sculpt back on to the figure, have you knocked one of the eye controllers? Have you wrecked the rooted hair? So I do think the system they've come up with is nice. So I would love that to become maybe that next evolution. Hot Toys, if you're listening, I think that would be a nice way. And then you could use that one little tool for all your figures, make those adjustments. I think that would be nice. Nullified says exactly, they're good for the price, but the movable eyes would be the cherry on the top. It's true. Patience is a virtue, but sometimes Hot Toys pushes it with the length between announcement and releases, and don't get me started on movies and TV. Yeah, I think collecting requires a lot of patience, and I don't know that we all have. I know for me, I can get pretty impatient with certain things. I know I definitely got quite impatient with the DX33 Joker, with the gap it took between Hong Kong release to Australia. So I think yeah, ebbs and flows with patience for me, at least. Miss Batwoman's here. Happy Friday, Helen, Shuri, and everyone. Happy Friday to you. I was saying earlier, I think Shuri's outside, but hopefully she'll come by and say hello to everyone. Cadbury is a nice chocolate, yes. Although it's funny because I've got a couple of co-workers from the UK, and they definitely feel like they notice a difference in Cadbury's chocolate in Australia. And I had to explain to them, yeah, because it's hot as hell here. So I know chocolate in Australia, they do put something in it to try to help it not melt as easily. Because, yeah, there's times in the summer where it's been so hot that if you go to the shops and you poke like the chocolate, it's like not even solid. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, that's how hot it gets. Keith says, I'd argue that Soosoo Toys Mr. Knight is more accurate than Hot Toys versions beside the unmasked head sculpt. Yeah, that one was fantastic. Their classic Loki was really good. Like, they've done some great figures, and I have quite a few Soosoo Toys figures. I think my only probably two minor gripes of Soosoo Toys is how long it's taking. Like, as I said, I can wait, but be realistic with what you're saying the release is. Because if you're saying it's a time and then you're years beyond that, people are going to get frustrated. And I just noticed with some of their newer figures that they the hands don't really sit on the wrist pegs that well. I have like 2 of the green vigilante figures, and as soon as you put that bow in his hand, like it just doesn't want to stick on the figure. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I've had other people make the same comment about Soosoo toy hands. So I'm hoping that's something that they do eventually rectify. So fingers crossed. Dr. No is here. G'day, Shuri, Helen, and fellow collectors. Hope everyone is good. I hope you're good too. Thank you for coming to hang out. J Hunter review. Now Soosoo are dropping the animated Batman. Yeah, I was saying that. Like, I laugh because they keep saying, well, they'd said earlier in the year they're not going to announce any more pre-orders till they release certain figures, and then they keep doing these short batches. And I think that's adding to people's frustration because these short batches that they've done have been really quick between announcement and release. So I think that compounds the issue of people going, where are these other figures that we were told would be released like in 2024? I'm pretty sure I've got 2 Flash figures, Superwoman, Deathstroke. I'm pretty sure all of them were meant to be released some time ago. Starman does movable, yes, play toys. I think most companies are adding moving eyes as standard now, which is awesome. Yeah, I mean, as I said, Dr. No, I'd like the mechanism to refine with time as well. That would be great, because I feel like it was I think it might have even been the DX33 Joker. I was not having fun adjusting the eyes for that one. And even with Bane, I had to be really careful of putting the sculpt back on because I could see how easy it was for the little controls to get knocked around. So I think the little wand that J&D has, I don't know if wand is the right phrase, I think it's a good way to do it. Miss Batwoman has become a YouTube member. Thank you. That's super kind. I appreciate that. My little channel member group is growing, so thank you. You can see virtual pats with Shuri, and I'm going to do some more little Shuri stuff. But for people who are a channel member, if you're thinking about it, I do, like, let me know what perks you people would like, because I want to add some value if I can. Yeah, the value right now is one like 45-second video of Shuri. I don't know how valuable that is, but Shuri's super cute. So hopefully that is a value. But thank you, Miss Batwoman. That's super kind. Anyone recognize the character on the Soosoo Toys laptop screen? Great question for the chat, because you know I don't watch things, so I'm the last person who would know. Anthony says, I went to Cadbury World many years ago. Recommended. Oh, really? I feel like the one opportunity I had to go to like a Cadbury type thing was when I was in New Zealand, and they had like a Cadbury's factory, and I feel like you could buy not just the blocks, but like factory seconds, like blocks that maybe have been cut funny or something wrong with the packaging. And I don't know why, but I didn't go. So joke's on me. I do like Cadbury chocolate, but I don't know if this is elsewhere in the world. It's just getting so expensive now. Like, Anthony, you'd appreciate this. You're an Aussie. A block of Cadbury's chocolate, which has shrunk so dramatically over the years, is like $8. $8 at Coles or Woolworths. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'm not spending $8 on a block of chocolate. No. Dr. No says, absolutely right, Helen. With separate moving, it's difficult to get them aligned correctly. The InArt Ledger Joker had the joystick controlling both eyes. Yeah, and Hot Toys used to do that too with their earlier DX figures. And I know that those mechanisms had some issues. They would break. I didn't mind it. I never really had a problem with that system. I just think particularly with the change to the neck connectors that Hot Toys is using now, it feels like it's very easy to knock the eyes out of place. So you spend all this time getting the eyes correctly, and then if you don't just position the head perfectly to get it back onto the neck, the eyes go crazy. So this is where I'm like, there's got to be a better way per system. That's right. Empty proxy, hello. I don't think I've seen you in the comments, but I've seen your name in the gifted channel membership. So welcome. Anthony says, last time I went to the supermarket in Australia about 8 years ago, I was totally shocked by the prices, especially for snacks like crisps and chocolates. Chips as well. Like, seriously, the price of stuff is insane. It's just insane. I cannot with some of the prices. It's probably not a bad thing. Like my health and my heart is probably thanking me, but yeah, $8 for a block of Cadbury's chocolate just does my mind in. Mike says the Tim Tams at my local Target went up to $4.99. I'd pay that if I knew they were authentically Australian, or I just need my fix. Well, even Tim Tams, because Tim Tams used to be, you'd get them on special in Australia for like $2 a packet. Bargain, laughing. Now the retail price is like $6 a packet, and to find them on a good special would be maybe like $4. So this is where I'm just like, I can't believe, even like last year when I was in the US, like I was gone for like 7 weeks, and I know I'm like a habitual shopper at the supermarket, certain things I buy. Even within the 7-week period, like some stuff had gone up. Like let's say if it was like $5, it was like $6.50, and I'm going, how has it gone up that much in like 7 weeks? It's absolutely insane. I'm such a certain things, if it's not on special, I'm not buying it. Hello, Helen. Hello to you. Miss Batwoman says, I had the same issue with my Supergirl figure. It was frustrating to get her eyes right and then put the head on. I know. And I know with Bane, I was really mindful of, I was trying to, like the neck connector was here and I was trying to keep the head as close to the back as I could. So when it snapped into place, it would be less likely to hit the eye mechanism. But that's the thing with some of the sculpts, it's really tricky to get the sculpt back on without knocking out the eyes. So this is where, as I said, I think J&D, their system, I think it's a really clever one. Tim Tams are £1.50, £2, I think, at Tesco's. Yeah, what's that? That's probably about on par with the Australian price, because I feel like one Aussie dollar is something lame like 50 pence. So that's probably about on par. Aussie dollar is also crippling me with how bad it is. Well, you got to watch where you go here in the US, because I'm sure you're aware it's more expensive on the West Coast. Is it? I don't know. I was only really on the West Coast last time, so I don't know what the difference is at the moment. I hate it when you think you got the eyes right and then you put it on display and suddenly it has a lazy eye. I think that's the other reason why I really like the way J&D does it, because it's in situ and you just can make those little adjustments. And I have to say, Figure Hideout's prototype review, I really want that Two-Face figure. I really want it. I have a figure with magnetic eyes, and that is a better option and so much fun. Yeah, I think it is a much better way to do it than the little mechanism that we have right now. So hopefully that, like 2025 was like the year of like USB light up and real leather. So let's hope 2026 can be the year of magnetic eyes. That would be amazing. InArt. The Walking Dead. I have never seen it. I know you're all shocked. I hope you're sitting down as I say that. But I do know that season 8, I think, aired like back in 2017. So it was some time ago. I do know there have been some spin-offs. And when we previously discussed Walking Dead, you guys seem to think that there would still be some interest in these figures. So These went up for pre-order about 2.5 hours ago. So we've got the Rick Grimes and the Negan Smith from The Walking Dead. I'm assuming these are global licenses, given who I've seen promoting these and whatnot. And I thought it was quite interesting because InArt also announced that if you order both of these figures, you get free postage. So that's quite interesting because I know when I looked up the quotes for how much these figures would be to buy here in Australia, the postage was around $30 per figure. So that's US, so about $100 Australian. So that's not an insignificant saving. And I think that will make quite a difference for people who might typically have bought from 1/6 Kit, to save on shipping, because Kit's obviously got to build the shipping price into his price. So I did do a bit of a breakdown of the cost, so we will talk about that in a minute. Figure in a bubble, that's super kind. Figure in a bubble with a $9.99 super chat. Actually, Helen, I believe the correct name is SooSooToys. The patch figure is fantastic. They are my favorite line, but they have issues and it frustrates the hell out of me. Happy Tim Tam Fund. Thank you so much, Figure in a Bubble. That's super kind. Tim Tam Fund is going to happen. So I've been trying to think, will I do it for 4,000 subs? Will I do it for Christmas? Will I do it for my YouTube anniversary in January? But no, we are going to give away Tim Tams. It's going to happen. And to be honest, maybe it needs to happen sooner than later, because if it gets into summer here, it's going to be way too hot. But that's so kind. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. We are definitely going to gift someone Tim Tams. Daniel Evans, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Okay. Love your neighbor as yourself. That's fair enough. Dr. No says, InArt shipping to the UK cost me $40. Yeah, I'm assuming it's Australia being a little bit closer, might be a little bit cheaper. So that's probably the one time it is a little bit cheaper. So Mike says, I know nothing about The Walking Dead other than I've heard it's gone on too long. These pics are really making that Wonder Woman look even more like they phoned it in. Well, it's interesting because that prototype video for the Wonder Woman was taken down. So it did make me wonder if they were going to relook at that. But I agree. Like when I looked at these, and let me just scroll to the next, we've got the head sculpts here. To me, these look really nice. And what gets me is the Rick figure. I'm assuming it's Rick with the sort of longer hair. Like that does look to me like it has that sort of wet look to it. But it doesn't look like the greasy mess that the Wonder Woman looks like. Like this looks like a much better figure, at least from the rooted hair perspective, than the Wonder Woman does. I think both of these, even the beard, like I was really quite impressed with the detail in the beard for both of these. So even though like Walking Dead is not for me, I've never seen it, I looked at these figures and I was like, I think they've come out really nicely. What I am interested to see is how popular these are, because I think with some of these IPs, as time goes on, like, is this going to be as popular as it might have been had these come out in 2018, 2019? So I think that will be what's interesting, because I think for a lot of the licenses that InArt has, they are dated IPs, I'm going to say. I think the one exception to that's probably like the Batman. So it does strike me as odd. Like they didn't want to do John Wick, which would be quite recent, but they're doing some older stuff like this. So I don't know. I don't know how much this has persevered for people. As I said, I asked the question, I think, when this was teased, and some people thought that there would still be interest in these figures. So I would love to get a sense later on down the track how popular these were. Empty Proxy says, yes, I hope 2026 magnetic eyes and seamless forearms will be more readily available in 1/6. 2024, I believe, was the advent of rooted hair. Innovation almost year by year is exciting for the hobby. Absolutely. I think 2024 as well was probably the rolling eyes. I feel like that's when it started to become a really standard feature. So then when some of those figures that had been previously announced without it, it felt like it was dated. Like I remember when Valkyrie came out and that doesn't have the rolling eyes, and it felt like such a letdown because it was like, oh, everything else that had been sort of announced after that had been released all had the rolling eyes, but the Valkyrie figure didn't. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think we're getting some progress, we're getting some improvements, so you got to be happy with that, right? Mike says, dude on the right, sorry, I don't know his name, looks really realistic. So his name is Negan. I have not watched The Walking Dead. I just wrote the names down. But it's really funny because if you look at these photos, and I know I'm going to enrage someone, he's given real Arthur Fonzarelli vibes. Like when you've just got him in the leather jacket and the white shirt and the jeans, he's given Fonzie vibes to me. But as I said, these guys look great. I think they look really nicely done. Dr. No says, lucky I did not have to pay any extra charges for the funeral figure. Oh, the June figure. Autocorrect strikes again. Yeah, this is the thing, because the prices on the InArt website are not with shipping and taxes. But as I said, if you buy both of them together, you get free shipping, which honestly is a pretty good deal because shipping at the moment feels super expensive. So if you can get something with free shipping, that's definitely a win. Anthony says, I love The Walking Dead, but it went 3 or 4 seasons past. It's used by date. Figures look great, but I wouldn't buy them. That's fair enough. These figures look stunning. Shame I lost interest in The Walking Dead about 10 years ago. Well, that's the interesting thing, JB, because when they said season 8, I was like, well, when was season 8? Because I know The Walking Dead did go for some time, but it was, I'm pretty sure it said it aired in 2017. So even that, you know, I'm assuming these aren't coming out till sometime next year. So you're looking at 9 years removed. And that's kind of becoming a bit of my concern with this Game of Thrones line they're saying they're going to do. Because each year we're getting more and more removed. And particularly, like I think with Game of Thrones, you've got to be so selective with which seasons you pick. Because if you're going those later seasons, I think that's going to put some people off. But yeah, okay, that's an interesting sentiment. Miss Batwoman says, you're right, I see Fonzie too. Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. When he doesn't have the red scarf thing on, he definitely gives me Fonzie vibes. So this is a look at Rick. And as Empty Proxy said, like I definitely feel like for some of these figures that are in more civilian clothes, having no wrist seam or no wrist joint, it makes such a difference. And that's where I think, again, J&D having their swap out forearms with things like the John Wick, things like the Two-Face, it does add a big difference. Because you look at this here, it's just so nice to be able to have that ability, you know, if he is a character that's more prone to rolling up the sleeves, to not then have those joints so visible. So I am a big fan of that. I wonder if we'll get more bodies like that. I know there's the World Box body, but that's a little bit of a skinnier one. So I wonder if that might be something that becomes a little bit more mainstream for those of us who like to kit bash. So this is Rick. The outfit, you know, civilian clothing, but to me, the tailoring looks pretty nice. They look like pretty simple releases as far as accessories and things like that. So it is what it is. Here's the Fonz. Literally, I couldn't stop thinking about the Fonz when I saw this look for him. So I'm glad someone else sees it too. So thanks, Miss Batwoman. These InArt figures look amazing. I think it's still popular in Asia, but it's not so in the West now. Oh, really? I wonder if might the airing of it have been delayed in Asia? Might that be the reason why they're doing these and in particular season 8? Because I know with the ballerina, like some people had said that the release, I think it was in Japan, I don't know if it was other parts of Asia, was quite a few months delayed, and that's now happened. So once people are like, yeah, it's now screening in Asia, I was like, Ethan Macaro, please, but we still don't have it. So I don't know. And I mean, obviously, InArt, they're in China, so they're going to consider that Asian market quite a bit. Keith says, the Walking Dead figures look great, but something seems off about the Rick. Maybe it's too skinny or lanky, or maybe it's the fit of the shirt. I don't know. Okay, interesting. I'm not that familiar with these characters to know those intricacies. I'm just looking at them on face value thinking, I think there's nice level of detail in the sculpts. The outfits look nice to me. And then we got the tees. So I think is it Daryl Dixon? Norman Reedus, right? He was in the ballerina. So I think it's safe to say that's coming soon from InArt. So obviously they're into The Walking Dead, and all I could think of was I could picture Bob getting this for kit bashing, this head sculpt. I always forget what his character's name was in the ballerina. I'm so bad with names, but that's an option there too. So I did look up some of the pricing. So on the InArt website, as I mentioned, if you're getting both, you can get free shipping. So otherwise, the prices individually, which don't include shipping or tax, for Rick, you're looking at $385 US, which is around €327, £285, and $583 Australian. For Negan, that comes in a bit cheaper. So he's at $295 US, €228, £199, and £407 Australian. And then with 1/6 kit, they also just released their pricing a little bit earlier. So their pricing includes shipping. So for Rick, it was $440 US, €374, $326 Great British pounds, and 666 Australian dollars. For Negan, you're looking at $335 US, €285, £248, and 507 Australian dollars. And for some reason, when I looked on the Pop Culture website, and I wasn't expecting to see them there because Pop Culture doesn't typically update their website outside of business hours, but the Rick was up there. Not the Negan, just the Rick. And he was 660 Australian dollars. So pretty on par with 1/6 kit pricing there. So that is the ballpark of what you're looking at for these figures. So it's interesting because I do feel like there's so much being announced that when something is a bit of an older IP, and I mean, I can't speak to this, but is this like a classic, epic level type thing? Like you think of older things they're doing like the Terminator and Alien and all that, and you go, these are things that kind of stand the test of time, and I think people would buy them regardless. Is The Walking Dead something like that? I don't know, but I've also never watched it. So as I said, I am keen to see what the reception is to these. Ash Chase is here. What up, plastic crackheads? What up, Ash? How are you? I see you've got a new little Deadpool avatar. That's fun. Dr. No says, I used to watch The Walking Dead, but they made so many spin-off shows and they're still making them to this day. Like their Wukong figures, they feel a little bit late. Yeah, this is I think that's the problem with some of this licensing that InArt can get. Like, as I said before, it feels like everything is just a bit old and a bit dated. You know, Harry Potter. You know, and they're now doing a new version of Harry Potter, but you know, you've got Harry Potter, The Walking Dead, you know, the BVS figures, like everything is from a while, with the exception of, I think, the Batman, which was pretty timely, as I don't think that, you know, I think they were in the ballpark release-wise with Hot Toys. There wasn't, like, it was years gap. I think they were quite close. Everything is a bit older, and when you don't have something that's that iconic, and this is where I think, I probably think one of the smarter ones they've been looking at is Bruce Lee. Like, I do think that would be a smarter, older IP to go with. But yeah, some of these other ones, I don't really know what the demand is for them. I feel like 3.0, was it 3.0 that did some Walking Dead figures? Because I feel like some have been done. I mean, probably not to this quality, but I'm positive that someone has made some Walking Dead figures. Ash said, that's me. Oh, is it? There you go. The picture only looks really tiny for me, but I was trying to, I couldn't tell what it was, if that was a person or not, but there you go. So with the figures, as I said, pretty slimline releases as far as what you get, and I think that's probably reflected in some of the pricing. So with Rick, you're getting a display base, you're getting some weapons, you're getting quite a few swap-out arms. So I quite like that it's swap-out arms, not just hands, so you can keep that seamless look there. He's got an axe, he's got a walkie-talkie, a knife, and I'm guessing that's a wristwatch. So that's what he comes with. I'm not sure if this is going to be a magnetic base. It feels like they're maybe going away from the magnetic bases, which is interesting. So I guess time will tell. And then with Negan, you're getting a little bit more of a interesting base there with that sort of railing. He comes with the baseball bat. I know it has a name. I can't remember what the name is. I want to say like Lucille, but I don't know if that's the name. He comes with his scarf, cravat, whatever it is. He's got some weapons as well, swap out hands, and his belt. So you can have him with his cravat, or you can have him looking like the Fallen. It's up to you. MG Prox says, yes, 3.0 did Walking Dead. Thank you for that. Uncada Reviews is here, Tim Tams and zombies for everyone. Well, I've got tasty cakes. So tasty cakes and zombies for me. So let's move along, because goodness, we've already been going for almost an hour, and I feel like we've got so much to talk about. We're not going to spend much time talking about this, but you know, and I know, when Hot Toys said 25th anniversary special figures, we all knew we were getting some kind of Iron Man. Did anybody really want Sub-Zero fractal armor? I don't really know that they did, but that's what Hot Toys is doing. I don't really know how popular that fractal armor was. This very much feels like a real Swarovski Iron Man, given it is in that sort of Sub-Zero, more white look. So for the Iron Man collector who has everything, now you can aspire to this. I think the only thing that would have made this interesting to me is if it had a Howard head sculpt. Give us Iron Howie claws. That would be amazing. Uncarded Review says, I'm going to use the Hot Toys Death Stranding Norman Reedus to make a Daryl Dixon custom. Yeah, I joked to Bob when that was announced that he was going to use it for the character that Norman plays in, the ballerina, who, again, his name escapes me. But now he might use the InArt one. I don't know, but I could totally see people getting that head sculpt from the Hot Toys figure to kit bash other things. Dr. No says InArt metal support stand, so no magnets. Yeah, if it's that same metal support stand as Wonder Woman, I don't mind that for these figures, but on the Wonder Woman figure, I was a bit concerned that metal might scratch the silicone body. I don't know. It looked very full on, is what I want to say. So this Iron Man, it is what it is. It's for someone. It's not for me. It doesn't really come with a lot. So you're getting some swap out hands. He's got USB light up display base. He's got special fractal armor design with metallic independent finish. Oh, no, incandescent finish. Should probably wear my glasses when I do this stream, if I'm honest, but it is what it is. The less said about this is probably the better, to be honest with you. Empty Proxy says, I feel they made too many Fractal armor and the unsold stock was given a new paint job. Yeah, I mean, that's even what I wondered with the, is it Hellbat XC suit? There are times when these things happen that I wonder if it is. Even with the Arkham Batgirl, when they did the purple version, I was like, can't move some units? So maybe, I'm not sure. Valkyrie, that's super kind. Valkyrie with the $4.99 super chat for the Tim Tam Fund. And look, little Shuri's here. Shuri, you going to do your claws? We're talking about the Tim Tam Fund, Shuri. I often wonder if you guys can hear her on her little scratch pad. But she's there. Shuri, everyone's been saying hello to you. You going to say hello? You gonna say hello, Bobby? You gonna come up? You gonna come up and say hello? I'd always love to pick her up, but she's not a touchy-feely cat. And I worry I'll get clawed in the face if I do that. You gonna say hi? You gonna come up? No? Okay. Oh, Shuri. She's a quirky girl, but I respect that because I am too. You going to say hi? No. Okay. Well, if you want to say hi. People want to say hi to you, Bubby. Oh, Shuri. She's having a scratch. It's fine. But thank you again, Valkyrie. That's super kind. Uncarded Review says, I feel like these companies are starting to lose interest in the artisan experiment and are gradually cutting corners to increase profits. I mean, I think it's kind of always been there with like different SKUs and reissues and things like that. I think what's been interesting is I feel like this year, and maybe it's just me, but if it's not, let me know what you guys think. I feel like there's been a lot more of these exclusive figures. These really short, limited runs. We're doing 3,000 versions by Shuri. And that's it. I feel like we've had a lot more of those this year than what we typically have. And I think it's an interesting ploy because I think for so many people, they were not wanting to pre-order things, whereas when things are given exclusive or artisan or limited, I think it's gotten people back into the habit of pre-ordering, which I think is what Hot Toys want. They want those pre-order numbers to inform production, but also have that economy of scale, know how much they want to make, and also not have so much dead stock floating around. I don't think they want stuff to be bargain basement, or I don't know, maybe they don't. Maybe it's shipped off to Sideshow, and after that, they don't care. Oh, wow, an Iron Man. I haven't seen one in a long time. Yeah. None of us have Shuri claws. Yeah, little Shuri claws. She's so cute. But she does. She has a little scratch pad. And it's quite loud. So I'm assuming you guys can hear it. So if you could hear that's Shuri. Hey, Shuri. She's got so many little fans. Hi, Shuri. She left us. No Shuri fan content for free. Oh, only pause. Only pause subscription. Oh, she really doesn't like being picked up because otherwise I would. And I just know it would go horribly wrong. And I don't need someone to clip that and it goes viral. No, I don't need that in my life. So Iron Man, let's move along. There's not really much to say about him. This surprised me. I don't really know what this is. I'm assuming this is from a comic run. And I'll be honest with you guys. There's two things I thought when I saw this figure. One, I thought it was so cool, all the different alien accessories he comes with. The second one was, oh my God, people are going to complain about the suit wrinkling, and is it going to damage the suit, and why can't Hot Toys think of a different suit material, and it looks so bad? Because it does, and I think particularly on a suit like this, which is white, it's predominantly one color, I do think those creases stand out a lot more. So keen to know, because there were some people that were quite excited for this and, oh my God, I can't believe they made this. I'm assuming this is a comic thing. If it's not, please correct me. But as I said, I looked at this and I went, I don't really know what this is. But again, for me, this is the kind of thing where I'm like, go to town on making this an exclusive because it's for someone. It's not a key character from a big line that you're going to be like, if I don't have this Miles, my display will never feel complete. So when these exclusives are things like this, I'm quite happy with that. I don't like it when it's like a main character that they do as an exclusive and then people get annoyed that they can't then have it because they've only made 3,000, 5,000, whatever. Uncarded Review says, not just Hot Toys, but J&D and InArt seems to be cutting back and not delivering the promised value. InArt Wonder Woman is a disaster currently, and the Kojin John Wick is unacceptable. Yeah, it's interesting. I was saying this earlier on Carded Reviews that because that prototype review got taken down, I did wonder if InArt might reconsider the position that was stated on Chinese social media that they were not going to retool the head sculpt. I think it would be wise if they did. That hair, it looked like a greasy mess. It was not good. The likeness, I don't think is there. You know, I know Justin is a pretty positive reviewer, but I didn't see the likeness at any angle. I know he was trying to say, oh, in some angles, I couldn't see it. There was no angle or visual that he showed that made me go, that's the money shot. That looks exactly like Gal. And as I said, the hair for me looked worse in that video because up against that white backdrop, I feel like the InArt photos had that darker backdrop and it kind of camouflaged that hair. But with the lights and the white background, it looked really bad. John Wick, yeah, I mean, I was very brutal in my assessment of that likeness. I think the Hot Toys one is better. Neither is perfect, but I think regardless of price, if you put both of them in front of me and said you get one for free, which one do you want? I'd go the Hot Toys one. I would, because I think it's a better likeness. I think it's a better figure. So yeah, and it's a shame because that Two-Face sculpt for J&D is phenomenal. Like, it is so good. And I don't get how they've gone so wrong with the John Wick one. And I think when the pre-orders were delayed, I think we all thought they were going to be retooling that sculpt. I don't know what the delay was and why that happened. But if that's retooled, that's a concern. And I saw people saying, oh, no, they'll fix it because, you know, they fixed the Joker. I don't know how much they fixed the Joker. That smiling head sculpt is still, like, not it for me. But I wouldn't be sinking that much money in a figure with hopes and prayers that it's going to be updated. Because unless they're going to come out and make a statement, say we are updating it, then I personally don't think you should pre-order it thinking that maybe they'll update it. Dr. No says, I'm disappointed InArt seems to have completely cut the magnetic base and feet. Yeah, I'm quite surprised that they've gone that route because they were big defenders of the magnetic system in live streams where people asked them about, could you not give us both? Could you not have the magnets but also maybe include like a crotch grabber for people who want it? And they were like, no, you need the magnets for the realism. Whereas J&D, from what I understand, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like their entire base is magnetic, which I think is the better way to do it. Like the different ways InArt's tried to do it, I don't think have really worked. J&D seems to have done a better job with that. So it's interesting. I don't see why they couldn't have done some kind of hybrid. I think it's very easy with some of these display bases to have a little pull-out part that you can then put the crotch grabber into, and then if you don't want to use it, like you have that little part still in there. I think like the DX33 Joker has that base where same thing, you can pull out a part to put the crotch grabber in, or you can leave it as is. So I think there's ways you could offer both. They've gone the other way now, so. Oh, you're back, are you? Oh, okay. People want you to say hi. Okay. Her tail's in the air. She's very happy. Mike says, I had no idea Alien versus Avengers was even a thing. Still have no interest in this. I think proportions are way off. Looks like Miles has no muscles. Yeah, those arms are very skinny, aren't they? As I said, I'm assuming it's a comic. I have no idea. But as I said, the comments I saw were like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. And I was like, I'm guessing it's a comic. Because what else was it? It was Was it the Captain America or was it the Iron Patriot with the oh God, what's his name? The Green Goblin head sculpt. And that was apparently a comic thing. I told you guys, I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. Anthony says, stuff the mortgage, Helen, get that J&D Two-Face. It's been incredibly tempting ever since the figure hideout he did the teaser and then he did the full prototype review. And I don't think I'd get the 2-pack. I think just the Two-Face figure with the burnt face, that's all I'd need. But it's like $1,400. It's a lot. Mike says, I heard Hot Toys did an entire magnetic base with the recent Black Widow. Oh, did they? Remember, to be honest. I've heard this is comic based. Yeah, I'm guessing it is. But as I said, I think the accessories are cool. I can just see people not being happy with this suit and the amount of wrinkling it's going to show. It is pretty basic on its own, but I do think once you start attaching some of these different accessories to it, it does make it look cool, and maybe that's a way to camouflage some of the wrinkling, like use some of these add-on accessories to try to hide that. As I said, it's for someone. It's definitely not for me, and these are the kind of exclusives that I've got no problem with, because if I miss out on this, I don't mind. Some of the artisan figures we've had that I've not been able to access, like, I'm totally bummed about those because I would have liked them, but this, have at it. Ash said, yes, this is a comic. Cool. Thank you very much, Ash. So yeah, Miles Morales, Alien versus Avengers. I can't even read this text. I'm so sorry, guys. So 3 display modes. Got the interchangeable eyes. I can't read what the other thing says. I'm so sorry. I really should get a bigger monitor to do this stream on, and maybe one day I will. It's an interesting texture, the suit, as well, don't you think? Like, when you look at this quite close up and the shine that comes on it, yeah, I don't know what to make of this. As I said, I think I like all the alien accessories it comes with, and I think that looks cool, but aesthetically, I don't quite know about this one. I definitely don't think it's for me. We'll move along. We're actually now making up great time with these random exclusives. Batman XC suit Hellbat version. This is where I'm going to need you guys. As I said, it's been a while since I played the game, and I'm positive the Arkham I played, did not have this guy in it. I'm not sure if this is just an XE suit repaint or if this is how this suit appears, because the sentiment I saw for this, as I mentioned earlier, was a lot of people that were really disappointed that we don't get the original suit. I maybe got the impression that perhaps the Hellbat suit isn't XE. I'm not sure. So I'd love to know, for people who've played the game, give me some insight. Because I look at this and I go, like, visually, it looks cool. Like, I do think it looks cool. I just don't know anything about this. And as I said, if this is the Batman Day release they're doing, I don't quite know that this is going to be quite the hit that maybe they think it could be. I do think, yeah, I think there's so many other Batmans. Like, even just releasing some of the stuff they have on pre-order, like the Batman Returns, like the Batman and Robin Batman. Like, I think there's other things they've got in the works. I think there's a Nightmare Batman as well, Batfleck, that's meant to be due out soon. I think releasing those would have maybe been a nice thing to do in the lead up to Batman Day. Like, you could have had like 3 different versions of Batman releasing. But instead, they gave us this. And as I said, I do think it looks cool. I do think the black and red colorway is very cool. It reminds me a little bit of Batman Beyond. But as I said, I don't know much about this game, don't know much about this version of the suit. And as I said, the sentiment from what I saw was that it felt like this fell a little bit flat. Mike says, Hot Toys specifically called out the pearlescent finish. Honestly, it reminds me of the Anti-Venom suit. Oh, that's a good call. The Hellbat version is a hell no for me, sorry. Look, it's not just you, Mike. I think that's quite a lot of people. I was looking at Reddit. I was looking at some Facebook groups. As I said, I didn't know what this was. And I was like, well, what do people think? And I was quite surprised of, this appears to be a swing and a miss to a lot of people. So I'm not quite sure where the inspo for this came from. Figure in a Bubble says Chan is reaching further than Reed Richards cash grab 5.0. Oh, goodness. Goodness me. Chris Collectibles is here. Hello. The Batman with Armory 2.0 was delayed. Yeah, that's another one that I think people would have loved to have seen in the lead up to Batman Day. I know for me, I know this is going to sound silly. I'm really keen to see that Christian Bale head sculpt. I'm really hoping it's good. I'm assuming that Batsuit's going to be very similar to the Dark Knight Rises Armory one, but yeah, that Christian Bale head sculpt is one I have a lot of interest in. But yeah, like, this is the thing. You could have had multiple Batman releases. Like, think of that. You could have had a Keaton, a Bale, and a Batfleck all release in the lead up to Batman Day. Like, how cool would that have been? I don't know, that's not how Hot Toys works. They don't think of these things. They drop when they decide to drop. But I would have thought that would have been a cool way to do it if you had these releases lined up. And then maybe you could have done this rando one as well. But I think if you had those POs that people have been waiting for, such popular versions of the character, I think that would have built up a lot more hype for Batman Day. Uncarded Review says the Hellbat storyline was actually pretty cool. I think Batman made this suit to go fight the devil for his son's souls. Peak Batman. Oh, okay, interesting. That's very interesting. Mike says, I currently have no Batman in my collection. What? But I'd be interested in a Bat Who Laughs if they made a good version of it, especially with the chains. Oh, really? This is the other thing that gets me. Like, there's so much between comics. I think I've said in the past, like, Hono not doing Batman, the animated series, to me feels like such a shame. I mean, we got the Killing Joke Joker. And they've done the Dark Knight. I can't remember the Dark Knight or the Dark Knight Returns comic Batman. Like, there's so much stuff. And again, this is where I'm like, the 85th anniversary, there's so much they could have done. And we really didn't get as much as what I thought they would. So sometimes they make these announcements and then I'm like, do we get excited? Do we not get excited? Because we never really know what they're going to make. Excuse me, one tick. As I say, it's hard to know. It's hard to know. But let's take a look at our Hellbat suit. So these are some of the blogger photos. So as I said, we got the announcement today. And then a few hours later, blogger photos dropped. It does have that sort of incandescent reflectiveness to the suit. It's a gimmick. I mean, it looks cool if you're going to do it with photos, but realistically, like, I don't really know who's got the kind of the black light you need to show these in their display to do it. It's not really a thing. Third time lucky, you going to say hi? You gonna come up? No? You're just gonna say hi to me? Okay. All right. All right. You're very talkative tonight. So yeah, as I said, like, I like the look of the suit. It's got a lot of presence. There's little Shuri. I just don't know how popular this is going to be, and maybe this is why it's going to be such a limited release. Maybe for some people, this is an amazing figure. I don't know. Paul Morales is here. Hello, everyone. Hello to you, Paul. Hope you're doing well. Mike says, I don't think it out of the realm of possibility since the Killing Joke Joker just came out, but Hot Toys really needs to do a Batman with a second laughing sculpt to recreate the ending. I think people said that at the time, that they wanted the Batman to go along with it, and I think that's the thing for me. I think there's so many figures that you want a companion piece to. A Joker, for me, needs a Batman. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. This is why I get annoyed at InArt, because you came out with the Heath Ledger Joker years ago, and you've not come out with the Batman to go with it. Like, maybe this year, but even then, even if they announce that this year, like, how long is that going to take for them to release? I think that's the thing. I think unless you're just, I'm a Joker fan, I just display Jokers on their own. I think you do. You want that companion piece. I know for me, like, the figures I tend to sell off are those random ones that I've bought on their own that have nothing else to go with. Like, they're not part of a collection. There's no other characters to go with them. And then they become the real easy ones to get rid of when space becomes an issue. So I hope they do. Salvatore is here. Hello. Arkham Origins normal suit, please. Yeah, I think that's the number one comment I saw today, Salvatore, that people were just like, I just want the normal suit. Could you do that? And Howard says no, because Howie's an enigma wrapped in a riddle. Bless his little cotton socks. So, Hellbat version of the Batman. What does he come with? As I mentioned, he's got the specially applied, let me try again, UV luminous reflective effect. As I said, it looks cool for photos, but in a display, I'm not sure that people have got UV lights or whatever they need to have that as a permanent thing. He does come with a wide cape. We like that. You've got a whole bunch of different hands. You've got what looks to me like a USB light-up base. You've got, I can't even tell what those bottom things are. A couple of weapon type things, I'm guessing. But the suit is huge. As I say, it has a presence to it. I do think it looks cool. Not for me. What would I put it with? Absolutely nothing. Maybe there's some hype from some people that are Arkham fans. But yeah, I think a lot of people are just wanting to see the normal suit. And I hope you guys get it, because there are so many figures in that Arkham line that it feels like a bit of a gap to not have the normal suit in there as well. How he likes repaints. He does. Yeah. Iron Man ones, Batman ones. Like, even the Blue Bale Man, that one cracks me up, because we don't typically get a lot of the exclusive figures through pop culture. And then Blue Bale Man was one we did get, and that's just hanging around at pop culture. So, like, the ones they can't sell, we do get down in Australia. So that does make me laugh, because it's just, that repaint is just a bit random to me. I think the Imposter Joker was such a better repaint to do, honestly. I think the Blue Bale Man, it's just, I don't know, just does nothing for me. I'm not a fan. Mike says, it's funny you say that, Helen, because based on my comments, you'd think I'd want companion pieces, but honestly, I'm fine with solo figures. My only DC figure in my collection is Flash Supergirl. Oh, really? That Flash Supergirl was a really good figure. I ummed and ahed about it, and then this is the problem with pop culture becoming so well known, is I feel like when figures are released and they come out better than expected, Supergirl, She-Hulk, others, and it's on waitlist at Sideshow, that all the overseas people then come to pop culture, because I feel like that was sat on pre-order for the longest time, and then it got released in Hong Kong, and then bang, it was not on the pop culture website anymore. But I have to say, I'm hanging out for Millie Alcock's Supergirl, because I'm pretty sure that movie comes out next year, and my goodness, James Gunn has really been talking Millie up. So I'm like, don't get me too overhyped, James, because I wish they'd do that as an exclusive. Seriously, do like 5,000 Millie Alcock Supergirls based on Superman with Crypto. That's who I want. I want Supergirl and Crypto. She can have the jacket over her suit. So yeah, I liked Sasha Kaye. And I have to say, I was bummed when I first heard she wasn't continuing, but then when I heard Millie Alcock was going to be Supergirl, I did get pretty excited about that. Because she's an Aussie, but also a great actress. I thought I really loved her as young Rhaenyra Targaryen in House of the Dragon. I thought she was fantastic. So yeah, for me, and I think she's probably that more, I want to say, conventional, typical Supergirl aesthetic. So I can see a lot of people, like, if that movie's good, I can see quite a few people going for that. I wonder if InArt would do it as well, because they've done the David Corn Sweat Superman. I don't know. It would be interesting to see what skews or what versions we get of Millie's Supergirl. So that's the Supergirl I'm waiting for. Salvatore says, can't wait for Supergirl. Maybe she'll be in Man of Tomorrow as well. Maybe. I'm so keen. I'm so keen for this movie. I even wanted to see that Batgirl movie that got shelved. Like, I was a bit bummed that happened. I'm like, I don't know, female superhero lead, I'm all for it. So even if it was terrible, I still probably would have given it a watch. But I think it's a shame that got shelved. But hopefully Supergirl is awesome. I hope so. Mike says, and that's exactly what I did. I never shopped overseas due to all the nightmare stories about doing so, but Supergirl was too good to pass up. Thank you, pop culture. Yeah, I know that's what happens, and this is why I pre-order stuff. Like, I don't linger. And I've probably said this before, that like, I feel like in Australia we're really fortunate with pop culture, because even if you change your mind and you want to cancel something, they will let you move your deposit onto another pre-order. So I typically always have a pre-order or two with pop culture. So now my mindset's been, pre-order it, lock in your spot, and if you change your mind, just move that deposit onto something else. Because that's what happened with She-Hulk, Bane as well. And then I had the stress of, like, I was stalking their website when I knew it was roughly coming in stock. Because I don't have a lot of excess with some of these figures, and I don't blame them, because the amount of things they've had to put as bargain bin, I don't blame pop culture for not wanting to carry a lot of extra stock. But this was the thing, like, with things like Bane and She-Hulk, they only had like 2 or 3 extra figures. So if you were not there straight away to grab it, and even the Armory, like, originally I missed out on that Dark Knight Rises Armory. And I don't know how or why, but they got stock later on. And I was like, I'm not making that same mistake. I'm not going to let it hang around. So this is why, for me, I know a lot of people still don't always pre-order, but I think because pop culture has become so well known and it is the plan B for a lot of people, I'm like, no, I just want to lock in mine and not have the stress of sitting there through a work day, like hitting refresh, waiting in the hopes. And I got lucky, like with She-Hulk, I got lucky, with Bane, I got lucky. But you don't always get lucky, and I don't want to roll the dice if it's something that I think I'm going to want. Ash Chase says, Helen, that's why I buy them now and wait for release so I don't miss out. Yeah, I'm the same, Ash. Like, after what I went through with She-Hulk and Bane, I'm like, as I say, just pre-order, because if you change your mind, I just drop them a message on Facebook, hey guys, can I move this pre-order from here to there? and they're always willing to oblige. So we're very lucky with pop culture in that regard. Oh, Anthony, I did see this. I wasn't going to bring this up because, you know, some people think I'm a Denobi when it comes to InArt. If you know, you know. Anthony says, did you see Jazz Inc. said there's not enough penguin orders to look at the duck boat? I'm surprised the numbers aren't off the chart. Sometimes collectors don't put their money where their mouth is. Anthony, I'm not shocked that there's not huge penguin numbers. And I think for the reasons I've said on this stream, I want to see production images of something to do with the Catwoman. I think it's twofold. I think a lot of us have pre-ordered the Catwoman, and the only thing we've seen is photos of silicone bodies. I've not seen one production picture of a head sculpt, of an outfit, of an accessory, of a display stand. Like, if I'm remembering correctly, like, that's meant to come out in Q1 next year. And I feel like we're getting shown all these prototypes of all this new stuff they're going to make, hand-painted, gee-whiz customs, tailoring. Beautiful, great. They look fantastic, but that's not what we're buying. So one, I think the lack of updates on the Catwoman is hurting that. I know that's the biggest thing for me. I had hoped the Catwoman would have been out the door before I was expected to pre-order something else. The second one is the NRDs. If you look at 1/6 kit, the NRD for the Catwoman was a lot lower than the NRD for the Penguin. And I know for me, as much as I don't like to abandon orders, I looked at the NRD for the Catwoman with 1/6 kit, and I think it was like 100 and something US. And I went, if this is a train wreck, I'll bail on it. The Penguin NRDs are a lot higher, and I don't understand why that is. So I think those two issues compound together is what is impacting the pre-orders of the Penguin. Because realistically, you've got Hot Toys doing the Keaton, you've got the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, which they have said has sold very well. But I think people want to start seeing something from the factory. That's very much me. I want to see something from the factory to know, because we know there's going to be some drop-off. There always is, whether it's InArt, Hot Toys, whoever, from the prototype to production, there's a drop-off. And that's what we don't know, because it's all well and good to show us these prototypes from amazing artists. That's not who's painting my Catwoman sculpt, and that's not who's making my Catwoman's outfit. So that comment didn't surprise me. I don't know if that's going to change the way Jazz Inc. does things. Probably not. But I think you've got to start getting some runs on the board with people getting figures in hand and saying, yeah, this is fantastic, before you keep ordering more and more, putting more and more figures up for pre-order. Because right now, like, what are we basing this on? Like, no one has anything figure-wise, and they just keep showing more and more things. And for me, I'm just like, I'm not putting down another deposit until I see something in hand, something from the factory. I'm just not. Dr. No says, Helen, have you got any new figures coming in recently? Endgame Wanda is currently on her way to me. I think she is in Western Australia. She's just not with me, which is heartbreaking. I was hoping I would unbox her today. Probably a good thing she didn't come this week with all the news that we had. So Endgame Wanda is the next cab off the rank for me, which I'm super excited about, because she's going to go in my A-Force display. And after that, I don't know what the next thing's going to be, Dr. No. I feel like so many of the things I have on pre-order, I'm not sure where they're going to be at. Like 4 of them are Soosoo Toys figures. A few of them are Mars Toys. I know Mars Toys, that can take a while. That's fine. And then I've got some Hot Toys figures, but they are things like the Returns Batman, Artisan Bucky. Like, I'd love for that to be soon. Stealth Suit Captain America 2.0. So yeah, after Wanda, I don't know what will be next. And this is the thing. I've probably got about 13 pre-orders, but I'm not really sure what of those I might potentially get this year, because even if Hot Toys does release Some of the things I've got on pre-order in Hong Kong now, I'm probably not getting them before Christmas, which is a shame. So maybe SooSooToys is my only hope of getting some figures this year. God, if that's the case, I don't think I'm getting anything else this year. But I'm also trying to work out this room and my display space, which I've said many times. I was literally looking up display cabinets and all kinds of things because, yeah, so I've got other things I can focus on in this room. But I've also got some kit bash stuff I'm working on, so that kind of keeps me a bit entertained. But yeah, I'm super excited for Wanda, though. I really want to try to find a way to work that diorama base into my A-Force display because it looks super cool. Helen, now you bring it up, how long does Pop Culture hold that deposit? If there isn't something I want to PO for like a year, will that credit just sit there? So do you mean if you want to cancel an order? Because typically if you want to cancel an order, you sort of need to have another active pre-order that you can move the money onto. So you pay like $100 deposit typically, as the pre-order amount. And then, as I say, if I have something I want to cancel, I then just pick one of my other pre-orders and say, hey, can you move that to there? So they typically don't give refunds. So I lie. The only time I was able to get a refund on a pre-order deposit with Pop Culture, and I feel like it was just luck of timing, was when the button cell battery laws changed here in Australia, and they didn't really know what that was going to mean for them. So I was able very early on to get 2 deposits refunded. I had Iron Man Mark 85 battle damaged figure, and then I think it was the DX19. It was something else. I just remember there was 2 of them, and they actually gave me refunds on those because they were like, look, we don't know what's happening. We don't even know if we're going to get these. When we're going to get these, we're just going to refund you the money. So in that scenario, they did give me a cash refund, but otherwise I just move it on to whatever I think is going to be the most likely to be released next figure. And that just means less on the invoice to pay whenever that does come out. Dr. No says, most of my figures are shipped abroad. Giant toys are great, but I buy direct from JPT Pop Costume from China Direct. Okay, I'm not familiar with JPT. Giant Toys I do use for SooSooToys figures and like Kit Bash stuff, things like that. And yeah, they've always been really good, like good customer service when I've needed it. They get things out the door really quickly when they're released. So yeah, Giant Toy and 1/6 kit, I feel like you can't go wrong with either of them. Aman, hello, my sister, I'm here for you. Shout out all the way from Malaysia. I hope you remember me. I do. How are you? I remember you because you call me sister. I hope you're doing well. Salvatore says, from my pop culture experience, the store credit will just sit there, no expiry. Oh, okay, that's cool. I've always just moved it onto another deposit, but that's good to know that they'll just give you that store credit. Mars Toys Doc Brown looks good. It does look good. It does look good. I saw some people were doing a side-by-side of the Mars Toys and the Hot Toys sculpt, and a lot of people were very happy with the Mars Toys product. I think Mars Toys has done some good stuff. So as I said, I know they take a while, but to be honest, like I know with the Batman figures I've got from them, I've been so happy with them. So I'm like, take your time. If they're going to come out at this quality, I can wait. Hot Toys Collector says, I pre-order nothing more until the Catwoman Deluxe is finished and I have it in hand. I'm guessing you mean for Jazz Inc., and I don't blame you. Ash says, I hope Pop Culture gets Kidpool soon. I'm not sure when the next batch is due. This current batch actually came early because it was due on the 30th of September. But I think it arrived like last week. So I hope you get it soon. I hope we get another batch or 2 before Christmas. That would be nice. Hot Toys Collector says, my final figures for this year are Feral Predator, Black Suit Toby, Padawan, Ahsoka, and I don't have them yet. I'm not sure where you're located, so I hope you do get them soon. Dr. No says, I'm also changing my display around and rotate some neglected figures. Also, a couple of Kit Bash projects. Yeah, I have, what you can't see is there's like 2 D-tops here and a big window. So I can fit in another decent sized display case. But I just debate between if I just get another case and put it there, or whether I just start again. Like I'd keep the garage display because that is perfect for the vehicles. But do I move that here and then get 3 cabinets the same? But I was looking at the prices of both modular cases and glass cabinets, and it's an expensive endeavor. And my preference is glass cabinets. But I was looking at the prices and then going, but then I'd have to do the black vinyl again. I'd have to do the lights. And it's just expensive. It's expensive. So I don't know. For now, I'm leaving it as is. I even debated if I could find 2 more of the garage shelves of this size. Would I move these cases there and just make this a wall of them? But the company that made this garage shelving unit doesn't seem to be doing them at that same height, because this is quite tall. It's like 2 meters, like basically 2.1 meters, which is huge. All of their shelves now are the 1.83 meters, which are similar to this. So again, I'm like, do I move this there and then put a 1.8 meter garage shelving unit there? That's probably the most likely thing that I'll do. But I'm also an overthinker, so I have to get it right in my mind. And when I settle on it in my mind, it'll be full steam ahead. So this is my conundrum. Aman says, are you going to order the brown and yellow suit Wolvie, or are you going to stick to the yellow and blue suit? Let's change slides. So fun fact, I don't have a Wolverine on pre-order. Iron Logan has been giving me some major FOMO with his photos of Deadpool and Wolverine. I was not going to get Deadpool and Wolverine figures because I think I've had almost every Wolverine figure up to Days of Future Past, and I had Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, and I've sold them all. So for me, I'm like, I buy them based on hype, but I feel like I don't hang on to them. So I've been resisting, but that Wolverine figure does look awesome. And as I said, these photos that Iron Logan keeps posting of the 2 of them together is giving me FOMO, but I'm trying to stay strong because I do not have room in my collection and my display space for new lines. So I am trying to stay very strong. When is the collection tour video coming out? Great question, Anthony. I need to clean this room because what you guys don't see is all the boxes that are here. But I do want to do a collection tour, particularly if I am going to blow this room up. I want to do one. And I also want to practice using my gimbal again. Because I'm contemplating another trip to Hong Kong. So if I go to Hong Kong, there's a new like Hot Toy store. There's also the Secret Base Hub. So if I go around, I'd want to film that. And I think the gimbal is definitely, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Like I could see such a big difference between my first day filming and my last. So doing a collection tour would be a good practice. But yeah, this room is a bit like a bomb site. There's just crap everywhere. Oh, sorry, I try not to. Even to the point where I think I said last week, like I'm contemplating an attic for boxes and just all the clutter I have. So I need to get this room in a bit of order, but I'm gonna do one. I am gonna do one before Christmas is my commitment. Before Christmas is my commitment. Mike, Helen, you mentioned Detolfs totally reminded me. I have 2 new Detolfs I bought years ago that I never opened. Oh my goodness, storage problem solved. I can't believe I forgot them. I can't believe you forgot them as well. People, they don't do them anymore. So I feel like a lot of people have been trying to chase them down. Because the Bladens are quite interesting. Like, I do like the frame that they have. Like, the black frame is really nice. But they are narrower. So I feel like they look really nice if you just have one figure in there. Whereas I feel like if you have multiple, it looks very crowded very quickly. Whereas with my Detolfs, like, for example, I've got like the 4 Defenders on a shelf, and I feel like that looks fine. So it is interesting. I feel like people would definitely be interested in those Detolfs if you didn't want them, but go build some Detolfs. That's fun. Dr. No says JPT are a design studio working with Pop Costume. Pop Costume make Pop Toys figures. JPT, in my opinion, are making the most exciting figure for me and advanced bodies and magnetic systems on eyes and feet. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I do feel like that's the next thing for these like Kit Bash bodies, is having some of these more advanced features that we're coming to expect from figure companies. Seamless, the seamless forearms, magnets. Topo does that, actually. Topo, on some of their figure suits, they have magnets on the feet, which I think is cool. It's a nice option to have. Salvatore, why does this have to be limited numbers when everyone wants this? Well, that's an interesting comment, Salvatore, because I felt like when I saw this announced, I was like, finally, this is what people have wanted. This is the Wolverine. Everybody wanted the classic sort of brown and tan look. And then I feel like people just were picking this apart in every way. So I did then come to wonder, as much as people wanted this before it was announced, are people still digging it now? Because I felt like all people did was pick this apart. And it reached the stage where I did wonder if the most exciting aspect of this was the Hulk tease, because he has claws with the reflection of the Hulk in them. First of all, cool. Second of all, cruel if you don't then do the Hulk. So we did also then have the teaser photo of the Hulk. Could that be a seamless arm? I don't know. I can't really see the elbow. So I then wondered, has the hype around this announcement then become, are we getting a Hulk, more than, oh my God, it's the classic brown and tan Wolverine. So I don't know. As I said, I'm keen to know, people in the chat, how are you feeling about this? Because, as I said, I was quite taken aback with how much people were picking this apart. Because I just thought this would be a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. And as Salvatore said, people a bit annoyed that it was going to be limited, hard to get. This is the Wolverine we want. So I'm keen to know what you guys think about it, because, as I said, I was really surprised at how much nitpicking there was at this figure. Mike, I had high hopes for this yellow and brown Wolverine, and it's not to say it's bad, but I feel like the yellow and blue is a step above this one. He looks like he's shrugging in the one photo. Yeah, and I think the bar was definitely set really high with the yellow and blue, but I've really been taken aback by how much I feel like people don't like this, because there's like a baseline of criticism I expect from most Hot Toys announcements, but this felt like a lot more than what we would usually see. Luminara's here. Hello. Hey, Lumi. How you doing? Happy Friday. I finally caught alive. It's so nice to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing well. You're probably getting ready for NYCC soon. I think that's coming up. Lovely to see you. Thumbs up 19. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I've only got 19 likes? Because there's a lot more than 19 people watching. So, like button, it's free. If you feel so inclined, I'd appreciate it. Mike says, not a fan of the Bladen. After seeing them in person, I wasn't impressed. I like the aesthetic of it, as I said, with the black frame. I feel like that's nice, but yeah, the dimensions, because at one point, I even considered getting more individual cabinets for this extra space I have. But as I said, I feel like the Bladens look best when there's just one figure in them, and I don't have room to just have one figure in a shelf. It's just not a luxury I have. Salvatore says, just check the Wolverine yellow suit is sold out at Pop Culture. Was still there a few days ago. This is what happens, Salvatore. When these figures release and they're hits and people have missed out or sideshows on waitlist, they all flock to Pop Culture. So this is why, as I said, if there's something that I either 100% want or go, yeah, I think I'm likely to want it, I just put down that deposit just to have that peace of mind, because otherwise you're going to be click and refresh when it's released, hoping that they've maybe got a couple of extra units. Ash says, we'll get this from Pop Culture down the road, not falling for Sideshow. Well, Sideshow postage is a lot. Like when I got my John Wick standard edition, it was like 90 US for postage. That's a lot of money. I wonder if Pop Culture will get any of these. I don't know. Keith says, in all fairness, not everyone wants the brown suit, according to the comments, which is surprising. Keith, do you think they don't want it based on these photos, or they didn't want it full stop? Because I felt like when this version of Wolverine was in the movie, I thought people wanted that as a figure. But I feel like people are not liking what they're seeing in these photos. Which Wolvie versions did you grow up with? Well, Hugh Jackman, of course. But I do have some vague memories of the animated cartoon when I was a kid, so I'm very familiar with the blue and yellow. For me, that's probably my preferred comic look to the brown suit. But I had the X-Men 2 Wolverine figure. I had the Wolverine figure. Had the Days of Future Past. So I had them all in my collection at some stage, and yeah, I'm just I'm resisting these. The Hugh Jackman head sculpt is atrocious. Yeah, a lot of people not liking the head sculpt that came with this version. And I know there were some people that were saying that they would use the helmeted sculpt on their yellow and blue suit and then use that head sculpt on this body. I know people don't want to hear that as I shouldn't have to have, but if you've got both, you've got a swap out option. But yeah, I know there were some people, quite a few people, that didn't seem to be a fan of this head sculpt. So is it a Hot Toys release if people didn't like the head sculpt? No. Keith said, I'm glad a lot of people are shying away from the brown suit. Will be a better chance for me to score one. 100%. It'll be interesting because I feel like it was the Age of the Apocalypse Wolverine, which did hang around on Sideshow for a bit. Like, typically those artisan releases, it's like if you're not there, hit and refresh at the time, you're not getting it. But I feel like with the Age of the Apocalypse Wolverine, there were people that were coming later on and going, oh, gee, it's still available to pre-order. So I will find it interesting to see what the online buying pattern is when this actually does get released, whether people will be flocking, whether they're going to just say Barley's, I'm not interested, I'll just get the yellow and blue suit. It will be interesting. Mike says, I agree, Helen, one figure per shelf with those. Bladens look very clean, like 1 6-figure Focus has. I prefer 2 to 3 in a cube, so it's not a good option for me personally. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't, as I said, don't have the luxury for one per shelf. Even with the Billy bookcases, like some people have the more narrower single, I call them like a single figure Billy bookcases. Like that looks amazing as well. Like if you've got, like some people who are a lot more measured than me might be, I just want one version of my favorite character. I don't need sets, I don't need companion pieces, and they will have like one Batman, one Spider-Man, one Superman, and they have it set up, and that looks beautiful as well. I'm into lines and groups, so that doesn't quite work for me. Ash says they will trust me. We shall see. Mike says, Keith, way to look on the bright side. I mean, it is a bright side. I was really surprised that some people today were saying that their wait list for Artisan Bucky was converting. That really surprised me. I would have thought a lot of people would still want that. I don't know if that's people just going, I can't commit to this financially, if people are concerned about the artisan hair and glue issues. I don't know, but I was shocked to see multiple people today saying that their wait list for Bucky had converted. Valkyrie says, I grew up reading the comics with the brown suit Wolverine, so I need this. That's fair enough. Iman, sister, according to your perspective, which is superior in terms of likeness and value between this version and yellow and blue suit? I mean, if you can find the yellow and blue suit, I think that one is, I would give it to that one. I do think the likeness is better. And I think just the amount of swap out options you get, you can have him with the head sculpt or with the mask. You've got the swap out battle damage chest piece. You can have the seamless arm or the arm with the yellow suit. I think that one is, as I said this last week, and I don't like to make this comment because I feel like too many people make this comment. I think when we are talking like figure of the year, as we get towards the end of the year, I think that Wolverine is going to be up there. Like that Wolverine is, I don't really know that there's a lot that's wrong with it. I know some people have said they maybe think some of the battle damage is a bit soft, but I mean, given you've got a whole other chest plate, is that the end of the world? I wouldn't have thought so. Like, there's so many display options that you have with that, and it just looks awesome. So, yeah, I do think that, yeah. And I think it's, as I said, going to be, being a standard release, I think it's going to be a lot easier. These exclusives might have a little bit of a higher price tag when they're coming to reseller places like Sideshow, or if they do make it to pop culture. So, yeah, if I was getting one, I think it would be the yellow and blue suit for me. Keith says atrocious is a bit much, more disappointing since they released the yellow and blue suit with the super strong head sculpt. Yeah, and I think that is the tricky thing, right? Like, that blue and yellow suit was so good. Maybe it would have been better if they had announced this before they released that. It would be so interesting to have gauged the reception if that was the order of things. Mike says, I know what Hot Toys was going for with the head sculpt, trying to capture the smile thrill of going against the Hulk, but those scene-specific head sculpts can make posing awkward. It can. I know exactly what you're saying, because I feel like that was the same with the J&D Joker and that smiling sculpt. I think that was from a very specific scene, and I don't know that translates well for broader posing and display. So I totally get what you're saying. Often's here. Hello, all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Often. Hope you're doing well. Mike says the pose currently on the screen is the only way the unmasked head sculpt makes sense. Yeah, quite possibly. And I mean, if we get the Hulk, that would maybe make it. So, and that's the interesting thing. Like, they've announced this. Maybe the smarter thing would have been to do it on the same day as a Hulk, because then if they're a set, maybe that increases the hype for this. I have to think they're doing a Hulk. Otherwise, that's just mean, Howard. Having the Hulk reflection in the claws is just mean if you're not making the Hulk. And what got me was there was even quite a bit of criticism of the body and elements of the suit, which, as I said, I was quite taken aback by. I really thought people were just going to love this, and I feel like so many of the comments were negative. I was really quite surprised by that. Anthony says, I love it in December when people announce their figure of the year. Great to hear the different perspectives. Yeah, I mean, I do as well. I think the thing that gets to me is I feel like we'll be in January and a figure will come out and someone will be like, this is figure of the year. And I'm like, it's January. Let's not think I feel like some people are every week claiming something as the figure of the year. I try not to go there. But when we had that week of, it was Artisan Black Widow, it was the Wolverine. I feel like there was another one. I feel so bad that I don't remember what that third one was. But the bar was so high that I was like, these have to be in the conversation. Like the Artisan Black Widow, 100% has to be in the conversation for figure of the year. That was incredible. This sculpt is so specific to a frame in the movie. Yes, it absolutely is. Mike says, not to be negative, Nelly. I love that phrase. I use it all the time. But I don't expect another Green Hulk announcement till the next Spider-Man film. I don't know. I didn't think they were going to do the Red Hulk, to be honest with you. After I saw the Captain America movie, I did not think they were going to do Red Hulk. Maybe they will, because it's, if they have developed a seamless Hulk body, maybe they're going to do it for greater bang for buck. Like, potentially, if the body is similar enough. I mean, I'm guessing they're getting a sneak look at what things are going to be like to develop prototypes. Maybe. Or maybe maybe it's a tweak of the Red Hulk body with a different head sculpt. Anthony says, I did that when Artisan Joker came out, figure of the year. Oh, every figure can't be figure of the year. But I know it's a standard. Like, people are trying to say it's up there, but I do feel like there's some people that, like, every other week are declaring something figure of the year. Which is fine. You're excited, you're hyped, you're allowed to be. My drink is now stone cold. That's so sad. So Wolverine, very simple rock base, kind of a forgettable base, if I'm honest with you. But here we get a look of him with the sculpt, with the mask on. Bit more of a pose there. As I said, I don't. This is not for me, but I'm not looking at this and thinking it's as bad as what some of the comments have made out. So it is in the eye of the beholder. So classic brown and tan Wolverine. As I said, you're getting the unmasked head sculpt. It has rolling eyes, which is what we expect. You've got the masked head sculpt, which does have interchangeable face plates, which is really good. I find it interesting that Hot Toys' new thing for the Wolverine seems to be having the claws as a plug-in attachment rather than giving you them built into the hands, which is interesting because all the previous Wolverine figures I had, it was one piece. And I don't know if that makes them more durable, that they're not fixed into the hand sculpt, like having them as a plug out part. Does that make them more durable? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And then, as we've mentioned, the right claw does have the reflection of Hulk's face, which I think is very cool. We've got silicone arms with seamless design. We get some hands. The outfit, as I say, very simple rock diorama base. So there's not a huge deal. I mean, there is bits that can't, like, accessory-wise, not a huge deal. Maybe that's why they went that extra step with the claws and putting the Hulk reflection in there. But I think from that sculpt perspective, you know, the mask, the unmasked, the interchangeable face plates, I think you're getting quite a bit with that. The rest of it, as I say, the base, the hands, it's what we come to expect. But as I said, I am keen to see with time, to see how the attachable claws go. I never had an issue with Wolverine claws, and I had the Wolverine that had the bone claws, the metallic ones as well. I never had an issue with them. So I don't know if there has been issues with them breaking, damaging. I don't know. Often, Helen, have we enabled you to get Wolverine Deluxe yet? No, you have not. I said this earlier often. I don't think you were here. I was saying how Iron Logan's photos have definitely been giving me some FOMO, but I'm trying to resist because I just don't have space to start a new line. I'm also very mindful that I've had 2 Deadpool and 3 Wolverine figures and sold them. So I'm like going, I like them, but I obviously don't love them enough to keep them when space becomes an issue. So I really like that red and blue Wolverine. I think it's fantastic, but I'm going to stay strong and resist because I got no room for it. And apparently it's now sold out at Pop Culture because all the overseas people have come to take our stock. So that made the decision for me, if true. Figure Crafts here. Hi, Helen and company. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Philly. I hope you're doing well. Hi on Figures. Hello, Helen. Thought of buying statues. I actually started my collecting journey with statues, to be honest, in 6 scale. So the first 6 scale collectibles I had were DC Direct, I think they were called, statues. So it started with their Dark Knight Rises statues. So they did a Batman, a Catwoman, and a Bane. And I then started collecting some of their other statues, like the Stephen Amell Green Arrow, had the Henry Cavill Superman, both the blue and black suit versions of that. And that was sort of my entry into 1/6 before I then sort of pivoted to Hot Toys. So I since sold those statues, but I'll be honest with you, I recently saw the Prime 1 quarter scale John Wick statue and the Kane statue, and they looked fantastic. I really liked them. Thankfully for my wallet, I couldn't find anywhere in Australia that sold them. But I thought they looked really great. Statues are just, I don't really have space for them. If I was going to get statues, something would have to go. And I have my quarter scale Dark Knight Rises figures and I don't want to get rid of them. So I, as I say, I did. I currently don't, but I have been admiring, those Prime 1 John Wick 4 statues. They look fantastic. I don't know if people have seen them. I know J&D released their 3rd scale John Wick. And then I saw Blitzway is doing a John Wick statue as well. And that looked nice, but I don't know. There was something about the Prime 1. I think probably because it comes with the floral print backdrop that I've bought for my 6 scale figures. I love that it comes with that. But yeah, those Prime 1 statues look really cool. Mike says, I like the flexibility, changing the claws to different hands, but yeah, I hope the feature doesn't cause problems over time. Me too, because people, they will complain. Jaron's here. I had my most anticipated figure arrive, the Darth Allison. I mean, Darth Sidious from episode 3, my favorite movie villain from all time, arriving to the collection. Oh yeah, also hello, Helen. Well, hello to you. I feel like, was it last week everybody was talking about Grievous? Is that his name? Is that a Star Wars thing? I don't know. But I'm glad you got your figure. That's very cool. Philly says, I just finished my 6 scale Batman multiverse Batcave. Can't wait to show you all. Video coming soon. Oh, that sounds cool. I did see was it on TikTok that you posted a little sneak preview? Because I feel like I saw something on TikTok which looked very cool. So if you haven't seen it, check out Figurecraft on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all the things. Often it really is amazing. Get Helen Wolverine look. Just add it to the list. Get Helen to watch Star Wars. Get Helen to do this. Get Helen to do that. I'm Greek and stubborn. I wish you luck. Jaron says, I saw the Hellbat Batman. I own the Prime one. Oh, quarter scale statue of Hellbat by Josh Nizzy. Hope that's how you say it. Concept. It crushes that look, but I admit I love the Hellbat suit concept. I didn't realize there was a statue as well. J&D unfortunately cannot get their Keanu on correctly. I agree. I thought the statue, I didn't mind the statue. I saw that and I was like, okay, that likeness looks a lot better than their 6 scale version. Whether they refine those figures, I don't know. But I thought the statue did look like a better version of it. Oh, wrong one. It's Saturday in your time zone, right? Happy Batman Day. It is. It is now 12:13 a.m. on Saturday. Happy Batman Day, everyone. 20th of September. I was going to use my Batman mug, but it was very big, so I went with Homer. Yes, Batman Day. Maybe I'll post some Batman pictures tomorrow. I feel like if I was a more organized person, I would have had organized something like a little reel or something to show all my Batman collectibles, but maybe I'll still do something. Mike says, let's all mark our calendars. Helen, name drop a Star Wars character. Get Grievous name dropped. Yeah, I can name characters. I can name characters because I live in the world of Hot Toys where I see these things getting announced. And I had to laugh because someone with these exclusives was like, when would we get a Star Wars exclusive? And I'm like, I'm downvoting you on Reddit because you've had enough Star Wars exclusives and just figures in general. Not everything is about Star Wars. So person on Reddit, I downvoted you because I'm petty. I'm petty and stubborn. But yeah, I had to laugh. When are we getting some Star Wars? Oh, okay. Sorry, we had a week without Star Wars. Ash says, Helen, not as stubborn as me, I assure you. I'm pretty stubborn. Because I'm very Greek. So in that regard, I'm very Greek. Petty and stubborn, 100%. That's fine. This brown suit, Wolverine is Pete Jackman, Aussie power. Oh, he's lovely. Good old Aussie boy. Philly says, I cancelled 3 Star Wars POs yesterday. I have too many. I've always said, like, I know I've not watched the Star Wars, but I look at the volume of just in general collectibles there are for Star Wars, and I feel like I'm grateful that I'm not into it because it's a lot. There is so much merch always, all the time for Star Wars. So I think if you're a collector, I can't imagine how hard that is to resist. Because I feel like a lot of things I like, probably with the exception of the Dark Knight, are not that saturated in the collectible worlds. Valkyrie says, what line do you move on to after the Dark Knight? I mean, is there moving on from the Dark Knight? Because there's 2.0s, 3.0s, there'll be 4.0s. I feel like I'm destined to just be buying, like, more purple coat Jokers. I'm trying not to. I legitimately have 10 of them. It needs to stop. But yeah, I just feel like there's still things in the Dark Knight line that I want better versions of. So I've said it before. I am looking at InArt for their Catwoman to see what that's going to be like, the Anne Hathaway Catwoman. I would really like a licensed Ra's al Ghul. I'd love a licensed Lucius Fox, but I don't think that's happening. I'd love a better Nurse Joker. I've kit bashed one. But the Nurse Joker is very hard to do well because, like, the outfit has, like, the V-neck. And a lot of pretty much all of the Joker sculpts have necks. All of the seamless bodies have necks. I don't want to cut the neck off a head sculpt because I don't trust myself to do it. And then if you cut the neck off the body, that's going to be visible through the V-neck collar. So there's still aspects of the Dark Knight line that I still want to improve in my collection or have a licensed version of. But I would say the other line I'm probably the most actively collecting is the Batman 89 to 97 line. So that's where most of my pre-orders lie. So that's probably my next big focus as far as a collection. I'm really that, and probably actually I'm calling it the world of John Wick. So that's why I'm hoping we get the ballerina, and I'm sort of working on a couple of John Wick kit bashes. So I'm looking at making my perfect John Wick 2 figure, and then also with the parts that are sort of left over, I want to do the sort of John Wick from the ballerina. Oh, shout out to Keith Lee. Is Keith Lee still here? I had previously said that it was impossible to find John Wick 4 head sculpts. And then Keith very kindly pointed me into the direction of where a John Wick 4 head sculpt was for sale. So Keith, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for hooking me up with that. I was stunned and amazed to find a John Wick 4 head sculpt available to buy. So appreciate you, Keith. Thank you so much. Figurecraft says, if they ever make a Dark Side Ray, and they will, you should get that one. Oh, is that for me? Probably not. I do have, funnily enough, I have Ray hands. This is probably going to upset people on my Captain Marvel kit bashes, because hands that come with female kit bash bodies are terrible. And I was like, what figures have a female with just plain hands that don't have gloves or something? And Ray was it. So I have Ray hands, but then I also have a Han Solo jacket, which I've used on my Captain Cold kit bash. So I have 2 pieces of Star Wars in my collection. That's more than enough. Nurse Joker would be legendary. It would. I'm hoping Topo comes good, even if it is the resin body. That would be amazing. My best friend from my childhood is Greek. Oh, that's so cool. It's not a huge Greek population where I live, so it kind of trips me out when I do come across people who are speaking Greek or whatnot. But Melbourne in Australia is, I think it's the largest population of Greek people outside of Athens. I'm not even joking. Whenever I go to Melbourne, it trips me out because I want to like stop and listen to people's conversations, and I'm like, don't be nosy, keep walking. Mike says, I gotta say, I loathe any mention of Purple Jacket Joker right now due to the oversaturation. As much as you loathe Star Wars, Helen, there are other DC characters just saying, I don't loathe Star Wars, I'm just not interested in it. This is the thing with the Purple Coat Joker. Like it's the DX1, like it was the 2-pack with the police version. Then the 11 came out, and that was the better version. Then there's the 33, there's the InArt. There's just been too many versions, and I don't know what to do with the older ones because I feel like trying to sell them is going to be mission impossible. So I've been contemplating, because if I do get the J&D Harvey Dent, I'm hoping I can resist buying that. I'm thinking that maybe I might get a different... Well, actually, no, I've ordered a custom John Woo head sculpt for my DX33. So then I was thinking, could I put that sculpt on the DX11 and put Batman, Harvey Dent, and the Joker together with the black tumbler? I don't know. High five. Back at you, Keith. Thank you so much. I don't know what that emoji is on Carded Reviews, but I know Ray is a character with mixed sentiment, is what I will say. Philly says, not sure if you already checked out SooSoo did a surprise Batman. The animated series limited run looks decent. They did. I didn't show it, though. I showed their statement saying they were going to release stuff. Yeah, I have 4 things on pre-order with them that I hope get released in my lifetime. But I think for them, maybe that approach of shorter batches that are ready to go, maybe that is a better model for them. It looks cool. Like, I think I do wonder if that might have more appeal than the suit that Hot Toys released, because I feel like not a lot of people were digging the Hellbat XC suit, which surprised me. I thought that would be a bit more popular than what it was. So guys, we've gone for 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's been a long one. If you're not sick of me, come hang out tomorrow over on Pop Culture Living Room's channel. So we're doing Two Great Geeks. We're going to be doing that once a month. It starts at 8 a.m. Eastern in the US, so 2 hours earlier than what this stream typically starts. And as I said, Costa has sent me a whole bunch of tasty cakes and snacks from the US. So it's going to be, if you like snack chat, you can see me try some things I've never tried before. I know Costa wants us to chat about the John Wick figures. We'll talk about Greek things, collectible things, all kinds of things, because we're talkers, and we'll hopefully keep you entertained for a couple of hours. So as I said, if you feel inclined, either catch us live or on the replay. I will share a link to the stream through a Facebook post if you want to catch up on that during whenever. Like, if you're looking for something to watch on YouTube, come hang out with Costa and I and learn about some things to do with Greek stuff. Dr. No, awesome stream. Thank you, Helen and Shuri. I mean, Shuri, bless her little heart. It's so funny. When I used to do Collectors Unite, she would walk past me. She doesn't do it anymore. I wonder why. I feel like I know why. It's a long and uninteresting story. But anyway, let me remove the slides. So yeah, as I said, if you're not sick of me, Two Great Geeks, at some point before Christmas collection tour, and maybe a video sometime soon. I don't know. But next week, we will be unboxing Endgame Wanda. I'm super excited. I've got no idea what the figure news will be, but we'll definitely be unboxing Endgame Wanda, and she's going to live there, and I'm super excited for it. So I'm going to call it a night or a morning as it is. So thank you for coming to hang out with me again this week. Really appreciate it. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Be safe, be happy, and I will see you same time next week or tomorrow, Two Great Geeks. See you later.